Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast. My name is Jem. This is Joe.
Howdy.
And this is Sean.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Sean. How
Good,
are you?
yeah. Okay. I just feel like the whole rhythm of the podcast has been ruined already. You know what I mean? Right.
Oh, why is that,
Sean?
Is that because I didn't go to you first, Sean?
Of course, that's why. But it makes no sense why you'd ever go to me first anyway, because alphabetically, Joe is always first. Maybe she does do it on who she likes more that week.
I mean, I still feel like fundamentally the format of the intro has been compromised by the fact that she introduces us before the actual concept of the podcast. Which, by the way, Jem, what is the concept of the podcast?
The concept of the project of the podcast is together we make up the Theatre Pitch podcast, where each episode we take a random online encyclopedia article and all three of us individually come up with a pitch of how we would turn that article into a theatre show, and at the end of the episode we smush them together. But this episode, it is the season finale, and it's episode 30.
Aww.
So instead of one Wikipedia, not allowed to say that, instead of one random online encyclopedia article before Joe shouts at me, we have each been assigned at random 3 articles that have featured this season. So in the last 15 episodes?
14.
So, Joe, do you want to tell everybody what your 3 articles are?
I sure do.
I think that's Gemma's way of saying you're going first.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
He can wiggle his way out of it if he can segue out of it.
So, my 3 were Intergalactic Dust, Maya, the Pythagorean Philosopher, and 1960 in British Radio. Sean, what were your 3?
There you go.
I'll let you know in a bit.
Are you sure you don't want to just let us know now?
Nah.
That's true, because we should hear from Gems first. What's your 3?
My 3 were Irving Kane Pond, the lovely socialist who could do a backflip in his 70s. Popeye Village, in which I pitched a GoPro strapped to a dog. And Braille.
Wow, that sounds like an interesting combination. I think we'd all like to hear how you combine those right now.
No, I don't.
I will.
And I don't. I want to hear your idea.
Fair.
I want to hear what Sean's 3 articles are. Or Sean, would you like me to tell you what your articles are so you can stop panicking?
Okay then, go on then. Let's see if they're the same.
Your articles, according to my notes from the last episode, are the Nelson Allen Estimator, the Picture Company, and the Soviet helicopter carrier.
I had Warwick Castle, I believe.
No, you didn't.
No, you did not. Definitely did not. You wanted it. That was number 11, but you got number 1 instead. Blame Joe.
God, Gemma's notes are good, aren't they?
Huh, that's strange. Sean's just edited this. It says, according to my notes, he got Nerf guns, pop vinyls, and the greatest hits of Bewitched. I don't remember doing those.
Huh,
oh my
not
God.
I.
I would imagine that. If we get Bewitched one week, I tell you now, this podcast will be like 3 hours long. Okay?
It
would be amazing. There'd be so much demon. There'd be like fake grass everywhere. There'll be like really awful Irish accents. Oh, there'll be like Riverdance. There'll be so much Riverdance. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
I am ready. If we ever get Bewitched, I am doing a Irish pop version of Riverdance. It's happening.
Well, the sad thing is, we can now never do it because we already know what Sean's idea would be.
It only gives him time to make it better.
I've only give you some bits. You don't know what I'm gonna do with like their second song. You guys don't even know what the other Bewitched song is. You don't even know what I do with that. They got serious on their second song, guys.
So
I still like Bewitched. That just after like 25 years later, I'm still like, yeah, they're still.
They've still got a fan base in Sean. So,
Yeah.
who's going to go
So, Joe,
first?
what's your idea?
All right,
Joe,
I'll
what's
go
your idea?
first. Well, buckle up, because it's a fun one. So, I decided to take
Hang on. Let me buckle up. Bush. I have.
Sorry. Jem, are you buckled?
I'm buckled. I'm only on a waist buckle today.
Okay.
Your waist buckle.
Living
She's in
on
the
the
middle
edge.
seat of the car.
I will point out that might not be enough, because this might be a big crash.
I'm going to go through the windscreen. It's going to be spectacular.
But so, I want to take some of the essential elements of all three of my ideas and kind of, I thought much in the way of the very essence of the smush itself. I wanted to respect all three, so giving them all kind of equal weight in a philosophical sense, because we are dealing with philosophy here inherently with the Pythagoreans. And I thought that really also what I should be doing is pushing myself to focus on elements I didn't cover the first time round. So really, I used the intergalactic dust kind of more as a metaphor for the space between relationships. I used the Pythagorean philosopher to discuss the elements of Pythagorean theory, and not the part where it focuses on Maya's one existing letter being focusing on her role as a mother. And in the case of the radio, I really didn't actually include that much from the article. I just fucked around. So
I'm writing that down.
yeah.
Did you?
Oh, do you not remember? But so I thought the thing that kept coming back to me as a weird link between all of these was kind of between radio, between the mother, between the maternal, and between space, was of course the train song Drops of Jupiter. Which,
Okay.
we all know it. Now she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her hair. Yeah. That one. Just look it up. I can't be bothered to sing any more of it. I don't want to break copyright anyway.
I can just it's not a McFly song, but it
Yeah.
sounds like a McFly song.
Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded?
Oh
That
yes.
heaven is
Yeah, I
over.
know
Yes,
that
I
one.
know this
that
song.
one.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
a song about the lead singer of Train's mom dying of cancer. And that's where we get into this pitch. Because...
So,
Okay. I see what you mean by like buckle in.
yeah. Mine is a play about someone building a rocket to the moon to spread their mum's ashes in space.
Aww.
And yeah, my idea is that I want to kind of incorporate some of the elements that we've brought throughout this entire series of, we can bring in elements of like, not to steal from other people's ideas who we'll be talking about, but like the previously discussed last week thing of kind of, you can actually, to build the rocket launch, could do it as a kind of like silent audio, or not silent, an in the dark audio collage to build the idea of being in the cockpit for the audience. We can bring in, kind of we can bring in projections and outside filming that is used as part of the performance to build this scene of basically someone who is taking this quest up into space, doing something extraordinary in order to do something very ordinary as a tribute to a person that mattered to them, possibly more than anyone else. And in this way is kind of giving back to the way that parents essentially, or I'm not saying all parents do, but inherently the act of becoming a parent is a selfless act to give over various freedoms you had in order to prioritize new life that you've created. And so it's about this notion of kind of this final act being a way of him doing something to prioritize his mom in this last moment to deliver the final wishes in the manner to which the person deems it appropriate. I'm also trying to use as gender-neutral language as possible, because it doesn't have to be a man as the hero. Just because the lead singer of Train is.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, so it's kind of one that I'm going to buck my trend as well and say, do you know what? I think this could be performed literally anywhere, so, anywhere there's a black box theatre, so I'm not going to specify a regional theatre this week. Is that because I didn't look one up? Yes.
Brilliant. Okay.
Any questions about kind of mother-child sci-fi cancer drama on stage?
I have one question.
Yeah.
So I understand the where Maya is in the show. And
Yeah.
I understand the intergalactic dust.
Yeah.
Now, I might have missed a bit. Where is what aspect of it is the inspired by the radio in the 60s? I might have missed that bit.
Well, there's a very obvious link here, which is Desert Island Discs. Trains, Drops of Jupiter is obviously one of my Desert Island Discs.
Okay. That's very tenuous, Joe.
No, if you want to actually know.
No. I'm going to allow it because I might need something like that later on.
Yeah. Also, no, I will say there were other links there, which is beyond that. Listen with Mother was one of the other things, and it was pretty much when I saw that, I just thought to myself, linking between the kind of the maternal runs through it all, and this idea that essentially kind of also I thought it's a little bit cribbing from the Guardians of the Galaxy type thing, but essentially I see it being that this piece is kind of it's not a jukebox musical in the traditional sense, but it is something where things like Drops of Jupiter, the kind of music of the 90s, runs through it as the sorts of thing that growing up the lead character listened to on car journeys and stuff with their mom. So that kind of is what leads through it, is the songs they heard on the radio growing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
That's good.
I have to say, usually when we smush stuff, never mind smush 3 different articles, it's a bit havocy, but I think you've kind of come up with something really coherent and quite nice, and I'd quite like to see it, really.
Yeah.
Is havocy a polite word of saying shit?
No, I mean havocy. I mean it's a wild ride a lot of the time when we struggle for ideas.
I always hate the smush because I always feel like we ruin the good ideas that we have.
What you mean? We take we take potentially
Don't touch
3
it.
good ideas and make one.
One or I shouldn't say that because that's like a third of our episode every week. I know I love that bit, guys.
Yeah. What we've essentially established is Sean doesn't like one of the 2 format points we have.
Yeah.
And for that, Sean, you can go next.
So I had the maths equation, the boat, and some films.
Hey, Sean, why don't you just explain that maths equation to us?
It's basically some. Okay, I've got it here. It's basically a H, and then it's followed by a T and some brackets, and that basically equals a really big E with some T's and some arrows underneath that T, and then next to the E is a DI/NI, which obviously means the rate of hazard. It's the shape of hazard rates. That's what it means, Joe. Maths. I would get my whiteboard out and obviously Goodwill Hunting do it, but I haven't. It's not the list of films that I've got. So, right, I'm gonna tell you what I'm using. Okay, so I've got the big Soviet boat, right? So mine is gonna be set on a boat. Yep.
Isn't it a helicopter, not a boat?
No, it's a boat.
Oh yeah, it's a helicopter carrier.
It's definitely a boat. Otherwise, the picture that they've got, this helicopter's going down. It's a boat.
Sorry, Jem, just wanted to check. You did realise it wasn't a helicopter the entire... You realise they don't get a big helicopter to carry helicopters, right?
No, I know that. I know
I'm
that.
just checking.
We have had a lot of aircraft, and I was like, oh, maybe we did do a helicopter at one point.
We've had one plane. We've had a boat, a plane, and then this boat again.
I think it's just because I want to balance it out. We need to do a helicopter.
Okay.
Somebody
How's that
needs
balancing out? Surely you'd be balancing out by using a car or something.
Yeah, we need a land vehicle. We've had air, sea.
Why would it balance
Land.
it out going just instead one plane, a boat, and a helicopter? That would make
because
it incredibly
helicopters are
unbalanced
fun.
again.
Helicopters are fun, and I kid you not, I have a friend who I grew up with,
Sorry,
who
don't
when
believe that, no.
they were a small child, they did not want to be a helicopter driver. They wanted to be a helicopter. So I like helicopters. They have a special place in my heart.
Wouldn't it be a pilot?
Yeah, it would be a pilot, but my
A
brain...
helicopter driver.
A
Helicopter driver. Right, so mine's on a boat. Right, I thought that straight away. I was like, I've got the boat. I've got to, that's how I link it to the other two. It's just on a boat. So I thought about like what shows are done on boats, what events are done on boats, and then I thought, well, of course they do theatre on boats. Like 2 years ago, I got offered a job to be like a techie on a boat. So yeah, they do theatre on boats. I mean, it's a good job I didn't take that job now, isn't it? Right, was it?
Sean's coming to the Theatre Pitch podcast from the middle of the Atlantic.
Well, I wouldn't be, because it'd be exactly where I am. So, it's on a boat, and I thought, okay, so cruise ships, they have theatres in them. They have big theatres in them. What else did they do on cruise ships? So I thought, like, oh, they've had like a cruise ship like weekend or week dedicated to certain events. So I don't know if you know, like the Impractical Jokers, they had their own cruise event where it was like the Impractical Joker cruise ship, and it was that. Chris Jericho done a whole wrestling week on a cruise ship where it was like wrestling rings, wrestling events, wrestling conferences, and it was on a cruise ship. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's like an immersive promenade theatre event over a week, and you book your ticket, you get a room, and you're there, right? And it's based around some of the films that are in this thing. So the films that I'm definitely going to be using, okay, we're going to be getting Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is my main one. It's basically going to be a Ghostbusters horror fit, sort of like all spooky themed cruise, and you turn up as a Ghostbuster. That's
I'm
Okay.
so surprised they've never busted a ghost ship.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen that film? Have you seen that film? Is it Ghost Ship?
Yeah.
You've seen that film? It's all right, isn't it? It's a good start. It's got a good start.
I feel like everyone who's seen that film's like, yeah.
Yeah, then the rest of the film happened. Okay, so you turn up, and the whole idea is that you're a Ghostbuster, and you're going to bust some ghosts. But there's also some other films that link in. So we're going to have like a Baywatch event, because we're at sea, and one of the films is Baywatch. Obviously, we're going to have some Baywatch themes.
You haven't
and then
seen the
also
Baywatch film, Sean?
I like it. It starts
I was
off
about
good,
to say
and
don't
it carries
shit,
on.
but yeah.
Oh, okay, it's all right. It's good. So the films we've also got. There's a film here called The Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. There's 2 Ghostbusters on here. And then what else we got? Evolution. That you remember that film? That's a solid film. So
Good,
it's
solid
basically
time.
that. the event is you're going round and these and it's basically you're searching for like monsters and ghosts and it's all crazy and like you've got the cast and the crew, they're all in on it. And the main thing is that you have to, the Nelson estimator is the MacGuffin. You have to use the equation to work out where the next event is or where the next ghost is. So it's a sort of like you're going around the boat exploring, looking for these like monsters and ghosts and like key events. It's like in Punch Drunk. Yep, I'm bringing them back. They have their big show, but then they also have little pocket events where it's like if you just happen to be next to this character at this time, then they go there and they take you there, and like it's like so rare but there's loads of them. It's basically that, but loads over this ship. So you don't always have to be doing it. You can just be doing the normal cruise ship events, but there's also all these extra stuff that's going on throughout like the whole week, and they're all based on like these films. But you could also branch out and have like a 18 to 30s like holiday, and you could have them all based on like road trip, old school Euro trip. I'm just saying there's other things you could do with these films. I'm not going to describe what would happen on that cruise, but we can probably all guess what stays on this. What happens on that cruise ship stays on that cruise ship.
Is this where you bring in the implication? Joe. Nice reference. Yeah, so that's my idea, right? Because because these things do not link. Okay.
I was about to ask, how does the Nelson Allen estimator?
I told you. The MacGuffin is a maths equation, and you have to use the maths equation to work out where the monsters are. You know how, like, in all of these films, there's some weird science that says, oh, and they're there on the computer, and they're like, oh, worked it out. If we use this particle, this parsec, they're going to be there, and if we triangulate it, the signal leads there. That's the maths equation that sort of goes da-da-da-da-da there.
So if you're somebody who works in life insurance, it's just going to be really weird.
I was going to say, is there any way we can refer to this instead as the mathematic formula for working out how likely a monster attack is and call it the Nelson Alien Estimator?
Yeah, I mean, cheers. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing it. That's my MacGuffin. So I've got a MacGuffin as my maths thing. I've got my boat as my location. And I've got some films as my plot. I
do have one question, Sean.
Happened. I'm surprised it's only one.
Yeah, but it is a big one.
Okay.
How are you going to fit Hotel for Dogs on this cruise?
That is a whole cruise of its own.
Okay.
That is.
I want to hear the pitch for Hotel for Dogs cruise now.
Okay, right. Hotel for Dogs. Have you ever been to like a cat cafe?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that, but it's a cruise ship.
So it's just a cruise, but there's dogs
and cats.
Oh,
well, that's gonna get interesting.
And you use the maths equation to work out where your favourite cat is.
Surely you could.
I like it.
Why would you not just remember it by, hey, that's where my favourite cat used to be?
Because that wouldn't link to my third Wikipedia article.
Okay.
Joe, my process was, I need to take these articles down to their basic bitch forms, okay? And it was, that's a maths equation, that's a boat, and that's some films. And then I was like, okay, if we just bring them together, what can I do?
Bitch, linking back to Hotel for Dogs, female dogs.
There we go.
There you
go.
Also,
I just found another film. There was another film called No Strings Attached, so that film could be linked to my 18 to 30 cruise ship version as well.
I thought you were going to be saying that was linked to the puppet show that's going to be happening on deck every 3:30 on a Wednesday.
There you go.
Well, that could be. I don't know which cruise that ship that's going on.
I don't know. I've never actually been on a cruise. I assume it's like being at the seaside, but you're on a ship. So there's just a Punch and Judy show.
Did you never see that? They done that. You know when it was like airports. You ever seen an airports program? But they done like an EasyJet cruise version of that.
I
Program.
will answer both no and no.
Weird. Cruise ships are weird.
I've never fully got the appeal, to be honest.
I don't get it either.
I've taken the ferry over to Dublin. Is that the same thing?
No, that's a ferry.
No. Okay. So whilst Joe's considering all of his boat choices in the past, now
You got no questions for my amazing show, Gemma?
No, I really like it, and I genuinely think Hotel for Dogs needs. I think Hotel for Dogs needs you to strap GoPros to all the dogs.
It's cruise for dogs and cats.
I was mostly thinking, you know, it'd be really fun. That hiring out that ship that like there's still the ship, the ferry that like travels from England to America. That's like it takes a month to get there and it costs like $2,000 or something, I think it is, or something to travel. It would be great to book out that for a month-long murder mystery.
Oh my goodness. It would get so intense.
Boat.
Oh my goodness. It would be intensely
But what
boring.
if you work it out? What if you work it out in like the second day? What if you're like the modern day Sherlock Holmes? What do you do
But
for
you
the
just
rest of the cruise?
You just play checkers for the rest of the time.
Then you're just being like, yeah, could you just not tell anyone else? We'll give you like I don't know, an extra cocktail.
Yeah, just the one. Just the one.
An extra cocktail and 33% off shrimp.
But only that one time.
Yeah, one time reusable.
We're going to give you one coupon. One coupon. Final offer.
Well, I don't like shrimp, so I don't think I'd take it.
I don't know. It's also redeemable on chips.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good.
Which
Yeah.
brings
What?
us back to potatoes.
We're not talking about potatoes. You got me. No, Gemma, what is your idea?
I want to know what everybody who's listening, what is your favourite baked potato filling? Yeah.
Well, she
Yeah.
didn't ask us, so let's move on because they can't answer. Gem, your pitch.
Gem, you need to move on, right? Because me and Joe know what yours is, and it's disgusting. So you need to move on. Okay.
We've already been through this, and no, the audience don't need to know this. Please just pitch some theatre already.
Okay.
Before we assume you have no pitch and just smush our two ideas.
No, I do have a pitch. It's just not fun. I decided to stay in character for this one. So I had Irving Cane Pond, Popeye Village, and Braille. And I was trying to do exactly what you guys did, which was pull it down to its essences to try and smush them together. Because I didn't just kind of want to go, oh yeah, it's just a blind Irving Cane Pond set in Popeye's Village, because that was way too easy.
I really thought you were about to say your pitch was, what if Popeye did a backflip and it made him blind?
I'm still worried how Braille comes into that show.
I have to say, Braille was the hard one. Braille was the
Popeye
really
touched
hard
something
one.
else that made him go blind.
Oh, God.
So Braille was really difficult, and instead of just kind of trying to smush it in there, it actually turned out to be quite a key point to what I wanted to go for. So, Irving Cane Pond for accessibility in the social system and in social politics, right? He tried to facilitate access socially and socio-politically. Popeye tended to fight a little bit for justice. But then Braille's all about accessibility. And this whole week I've still been reeling from the revelation that considering Braille so closely gave me, which is how much more we can be doing to make things accessible. So I wanted to pitch a show. It's set in Popeye's village, right? Which was built as a film set, and it's not very accessible for anybody who needs physical access whatsoever. And so I wanted to pitch a show that happens at Popeye's village, and it is Popeye, who kind of embodies a lot of what Irving Kane did. When I was looking at Irving Kane Pond again, I was like, you know what, this could be Popeye. Because if anybody's going to do a backflip when they're in their 70s, it is Popeye. So it's a theatre show that happens as part of the Popeye Village program. But then I was thinking, okay, how can, instead of just telling a story of Irving Kane Pond, how do we make this into something interesting theatre? So then I thought of Augusto Boal's theatre. It's a community theatre, and the name of it's just gone straight out my head because it's weird. But essentially, it's how Augusto Boal did theatre was the audience are very, very active in the progression of the story. So Augusto Boal took social issues like the right to vote or female politics or whatever, took that, created a concept for a show, put it on stage, and the audience were briefed beforehand where they could say stop, and the actors stopped, and the audience, it's pretty based in improv, but the audience could contribute and say this character should do this now and things like that. So the audience act as a director, all as a sort of trigger to consider and really, really think about this social issue that is being presented within the show. And I thought, that's what the Braille article did for us. So I want to use that style of theatre, which I'll remember a little bit later, and we'll put it in the description at the very least. But it's essentially...
Jem, can I just stop you?
Yeah?
It was bugging me what it was called, so I googled it. It's the Theatre of the Oppressed.
That's the one. Thank you.
It was bugging me.
Yeah, it was really bugging me. So Theatre of the Oppressed, taking Irving Kane Pond's mission in life, as well as his shared characteristics with Popeye, and Popeye takes the audience through the village, and through telling a story, and the story can kind of be anything, but I want Popeye to essentially lead this game that you get with the Theatre of Oppressed, to consider the accessibility of Popeye's village, and hopefully get people to consider the accessibility, not just for physical accessibility, but also for people with sight difficulties, people with hearing difficulties, all of these different things, and also neurodiversity, but consider that accessibility, which is exactly what we got from the Braille thing. Also, I would like there to be a guide dog that has a GoPro strapped to it.
You
Well,
know what?
that's not
I
fair.
really know that people who are going to like theme parks love to see challenging theatre that makes them think about social issues. That's what they're at theme
This is
parks
why
for.
Popeye is presenting it, because Popeye always showed fun stuff. And from what I remember of Popeye, it was slightly kind of like, be a good person charged.
Yeah, but Joe, you've been at a theme park where you queue up for the first ride and you're like, okay, 30-minute queue, and you're like, okay, I've done it. You're talking to the people you're with. And you get to the second ride and it's a 40-minute queue. And you're sort of like, oh, that last ride was good. And you're sort of like, yep. Oh, the drive here was, yeah, cool. How are you? Yeah, you having a good day? Yeah. That third queue, you've ran out of stuff to talk about. You know what? If someone says to me, like, I'm in the queue and then there's some, like, radical left theatre that wants to be put on. Yeah, okay. That's what these theme parks are missing. Theatre in the queues. Jem's onto something.
What? Just if you see someone who's looking really bored in the queue, Popeye goes over and says to them, "Do you not think this place needs more ramps?"
Exactly.
And then something about spinach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. And then the person behind the queue shouts stop and then gets involved. You know what? It's a really. I'm surprised it's a type of theatre that has got like you written all over it. It's political. It's like really left, and it's like improv. It's like it's shouting for you.
It is.
Yeah, but also you've got to bear in mind, I never look up things and refuse to engage with any ideas I haven't discovered for myself.
Well, there you go. We've
the
let
seed
you
in your
discover
head
it.
Who knows? Maybe I'll look it up if it comes up as an online Wikipedia. God's sake. I blame you.
Welcome.
Oh,
so, are there
I'm
any,
not scared
are there
of
any
Wikipedia.
questions?
I'll say it. Okay. Questions. It's good. It's good. It was. You found the link between Pond and Braille. I think the link you found there is solid. So when you said that at the start, I was like, "How is she gonna get Popeye into this?" And I think you've done a good job there getting Popeye in, and do you know what? And it makes a lot of sense because I remember going there, and like you go there, and you have to go like straight down anyway into the valley. You spot on. It's not a very accessible place. Not even for like disabled people to get there. Even like it takes forever. It's in the middle of nowhere. And the whole time you're going there, you're thinking like, "Oh, I wish I was at a hotel playing Sega Rally."
Yeah, and to make it more accessible, we're streaming the whole thing from the collar of a guide dog.
And the dog.
So I made it work this time.
Is it me, or does it feel like even worse because he's a guide dog? I feel like it's even worse because he's trying to do his job, and now Gemma's like, "There you go."
Anyone who needs a guide dog won't be able to enjoy the stream.
Yeah.
He's got a harness already, so...
So from 9 pitches, or 9 articles, we had 3 pitches, which is now about to become 1 smush. So,
are we actually doing this? Are you serious?
I'm seriously saying this. Does anyone have an idea how we can combine a piece of black box theatre about a person attempting to build a rocket to spread their mother's ashes in space?
Yes, I can do it. I can do it.
A series of...
You've only had 30 seconds to do it, Gemma.
I can do it.
And
I
also,
can do it.
you
And
didn't
it's,
even
it's
let me
gonna
finish. We've got then a boat filled with a multitude of different ideas for kind of adventures on a boat, essentially. Cinematic adventures on a boat. And we've got Popeye telling you about why theatre should be more accessible.
Okay, I've got it. So,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Gem, we're not going to stop you. We're not like, oh, my idea.
No, wait. We have our smushes first.
No, it's so simple. Sean's concept...
No, Joe, are you stupid? It's all
Oh,
there.
it's obviously there. I don't know why we haven't
know
done
how
it,
you
Sean.
guys aren't seeing this. I genuinely don't know how you're not seeing this. You're gonna kick me and yourselves. So Sean's concept is cinematic events happening in a theatrical way on a boat. Popeye Village was built because of a film. It was built because of the Robin Williams film. So you've got your link there. So that is the my show just gets put on the boat because it is the theatrical version of the Popeye film. right? And it's all about the accessibility of the boat. Then, Joe, I'm pretty sure there is a film somewhere that's got somewhat of a link to Rocket Moon throwing your ashes on. If not, we can just make the claim of Hunter S. Thompson left in his will to Johnny Depp that Johnny Depp had to get Hunter S. Thompson's ashes into space. So there's your link there, because, you know, film actors and Hunter S. Thompson.
I really don't like the idea of my link to this being connecting in Johnny Depp. Come on.
I don't even know where
but
Johnny
Hunter
Depp's
S.
come
Thompson.
from.
So Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay, how about this? Interstellar on a boat.
Yeah. So essentially, it's the easiest squish because it's just saying Joe and my shows are happening as part of Sean's show.
Doesn't that always happen on the Smush?
I feel like
It does.
I feel like basically next season we have to put like a kibosh from here on out on essentially squashes where we're like, what if all our things happened in the same place? What if they were all just like happening and you could go to
that's
one
how I
or
would
another
smush them.
and you could just enjoy all of them? What if everyone could be happy? Like, I think we need
just
to
have
put
to stop.
just stop that.
I think it's been my fault because even though I've been trying to think small, my think small has been, right, it's a week-long event. And I feel like
Sean's
because I've
stuff
been
is
doing
very
that...
like festival-like.
Yeah, I'm just thinking big. I want... So, I like... Gemma, well done. Well done. I think it should be more than that. I think... Okay, so it starts off, it's Gemma's show. Everyone going on the cruise have to arrive to the cruise ship via Popeye's village. So as they're queuing up to get onto the cruise ship, for no reason whatsoever, Popeye is giving them this speech, and it's a warm up. They're doing community theatre improv to get ready for the theatre event that they're going to live for the next week.
Why do I feel like this is the equivalent of when you're playing a video game and you know how to play it already, but you can't skip the tutorial?
Yeah, okay, Gems is the tutorial. Okay, so you get on there and you're doing your thing. You're using your maths equation to find all the events, right? And then at the end, the person who's done the best at maths has found out all the clues, found all the monsters and ghosts. They by doing it all, they work out that there's an extra bit, and the extra bit is that they find a secret rocket on the end of the cruise ship. And it's not a real rocket. We're just pretending it's a rocket. It's actually a helicopter because Gemma likes helicopters, and it's basically my boat was originally a helicarrier, and then they go off in the helicopter and live out your show, Joe, in the air.
I really hope they don't live out the bit where their mother dies.
I'm so glad that you went for, let's go for a helicopter rather than for the person who wins and completes all of these things. That they get shot into space.
Yeah.
The person who wins all these things loses a parent.
Yeah. Or they get cremated and... Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, on that wonderful note.
Hey, Sean, can I pitch another suggestion to you about this, though?
Go for it.
You don't have to ask me for permission. You can just do it, man. This is your podcast as much as it's my podcast. You can say things. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. The 1980s Popeye film was a musical.
I didn't.
So, what I'm thinking is, we take the essential elements of it of a ship. We've got kind of a musical, and we've got Intergalactic Stardust the Musical.
Oh!
And that is my pitch. I thank you.
Okay, I like it. Full circle. We will get
Boom.
Stardust
That's
the
how
Musical.
you nail a
off it.
season finale. Callbacks. Give me my fucking UK podcast award right now.
You win. You win, Joe. You win. You win this season of Theatre Pitch Podcast.
No, he doesn't.
Sorry, Gems declared me the winner. I didn't realise it was a competition until I found out I'd won. Apparently, next time I have to keep track of whether I'm winning.
You've ruined everything now because we could have ended it on a nice bit of like Stardust should be a musical. But Gemma, how does Joe win? Because he's just calling back from my original idea that I've been pushing. Right? How does he win?
Okay, all I'm seeing from this is that I am the loser.
Stop making this about you, Gemma.
Yeah, Gem, don't keep making salient points that we both agree with to try and distract us.
Right? Can we let's
Yeah.
let's
Hey,
do the ending. Hey,
Thank
Jem.
you,
Sean,
everybody, for listening.
Yeah,
No.
while I go onto the random online encyclopedia to not look at anything, why don't you tell people
hang
where
on.
we can find this podcast?
You know what you should do? For the next oh no, actually. Oh, it doesn't matter. Gemma, why don't you tell everyone about the special season that we've got like lined up for like the bit in between this season?
Yes, so usually we take a big long break and leave you to wonder what we may be pitching next. But this August, usually the Edinburgh Fringe Festival would be happening. It may or may not happen still, but it's definitely happening as a virtual fringe. And we are taking part in the PBH Free Fringe with a handful, if not more, special episodes of the Theatre Pitch podcast. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open for that. It'll be special. And also go follow the Free Fringe and stuff because they've got some really, really interesting stuff coming out and that they're announcing soon that I know about because insider trading.
So can I just
Jem was about to say, we've got some exciting things coming up and also go fuck yourselves.
No. Oh, jokes. Can I just go like the special thing about these episodes? We're gonna be joined by a fourth person, hopefully, and it's gonna be someone that we know of that's been involved with the Edinburgh Fringe, who's done shows there before. Because we're gonna put another limitation on us for these special episodes. The rule is going to be, it's a Wikipedia article, but it has to be an Edinburgh Fringe performance. So it has to be set in Edinburgh and in one of the venues that is usually at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it special. And then after that, we'll be back to the normal, classic, brilliant theatrical ideas that we normally come up with, like
strapping a GoPro to a dog.
Strapping a
I was about to say, look forward to. I've already got. We've actually got the list of guests for next season. It's GoPro Dog is on the first episode of our OFIT Fringe run.
Yes.
Then Irving Kane Pond, he's turning up. Popeye,
and then it's the guy that we were going to dress up to be bravest in our boat, Starlight Express.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've cast him.
And he listened to our episode about him from the first series, and he loved it. Edward Cullen is going to be on episode 4.
It's going to be touch and go for that one.
If you don't get that reference, have you watched season 1? You go and watch it right now.
I've got some other breaking news for you. We also have the runner up from season 3 of Canadia's Next Top Model.
Canadians?
Yeah.
Canadians.
Wow, and we have every person who's been on the TV show Catfish.
I was about to say, or are we just catfishing?
Or have
you?
we? Or have
Oh.
we?
But Sean, if they wanted to find out some like updates about these things or stuff going on with OFD in general, where could they do so?
Joe, I'm so glad you're here because you just pull us up in like a professional sense.
It's the segues. It's the
So,
segues.
guys, if you want to follow OFITD, you can do that on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, which you're probably watching this on now. The easiest way to do that is go to the description of whatever you're listening to or watching this on, and there's a link tree, and that's going to take you to our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Or you could just Google OFITD Arts, and that's usually where you find us. If you want to follow me, it is still Shawnee B on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow Gemma, it is
OFITD_gem with a J.
And you're not going to plug your Happiness Anonymous show?
My Happiness Anonymous show is getting really real at the moment and like really, really vulnerable and stuff. So like I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy to do it. But like I'm not too fussed if like not the whole world listens to it. So but if you do want to, it is at Happiness Anonymous show. Please be kind.
It's good. Gemma, it's good. I listened to the latest episode today and it's really good. It's unique to you, and it's very good. Okay, I know I keep saying
Thank
very good,
you.
like I need to be. I don't know how to.
It's very
express
good.
it
It's very
without
good.
it.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's real. That's what I
No,
think. It's real. It's really emotional.
I think what Sean's saying is,
Thank
you know
you.
what? Actually, it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the feedback I've been
Especially
getting.
for Jem.
Yeah, I've genuinely been getting people going, you know what, your podcast is actually quite good, and I'm like, double-edged sword that, but I'll take it.
Yep.
Have you not listened to the episode before? I can't take compliments. Right, Joe. Do you want people to follow you on Instagram?
No. Don't want people to follow me on
Okay.
Instagram. But on Twitter, you can follow me at NotJoeRanchka. That's NotJoeRanchka. And if you go on there, by the time this podcast is live, you'll see on my top pin tweet, I got a little link tree going with all those other podcast places to find my reviews, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe even my SoundCloud, if you're lucky.
It's only took you 2 months.
I'm gonna miss doing my little dance to Joe's Twitter handle. Now that we're coming to the end of the season, I'm gonna miss it. I'm just gonna call you every now and then, Joe, just to ask you to tell me your Twitter handle. So,
Yeah. And I'll say the same thing I say every time. Jem, it's 3 a.m. Go to bed.
but I want to dance.
Yeah, this is actually... People think we're joking. This is actually our friendship.
Yeah, boundaries, everyone.
I done that. I actually done that to Jem the other day. She sent me a message, and then I just sent her the emoji of the guy sleeping, and then just left it. Oh, this is real, and do you know what? It's good as well. Okay, who ends the
right.
podcast?
Well, thank you everybody for listening. See you in the next season, and see you before then at the Edinburgh Fringe, or at least virtually. Bye.
Okay. Peace out, bitches.